Yeah, BMW got it right the first time though. All their DC dual clutch came with the flippy paddles.
I think Porsche had these buttons since 2003 or 4 on the 911s that were auto. Yeah.
Could be.
So how did it work? Show me the buttons. So there's a plus and minus. So you.
Yep. Push to upshift, back to downshift. You can do it on either side.
Right. Cool, man.
Yeah, which I hear a lot of people who track, they
confuse it, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're sometimes accidentally hitting the button. Mm-hmm. I mean, because when especially if you're in a stock Cayman and you're trying to brace yourself, and you're using your steering wheel to kind of hold yourself in place where you're going through like a long sweeper or sharp turn. Uh-huh. And yeah, I mean, I could totally see people accidentally bumping against the button, either upshifting or downshifting. But with the paddles, it's a little more deliberate because you're having to lift your fingers off the steering wheel and shift, and you should never be downshifting or upshifting while you're in the middle of a turn anyhow.
That's right.
But with the paddles, you should be able to keep more planted. But this, you're so close to it. Like, I could totally someone just accidentally pop it down.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it'll definitely be a nice little upgrade once we get the steering wheel in.
So what do you think about paddle shifters being on the steering rack versus on the steering wheel itself? Like, some of them are.
Oh, you got to have it on the steering wheel, because when you're like this, you need them right there.
Gotcha.
Not saying you should be shifting gears in a turn like that, but there will be times where if you're in a long sweeper that's a pretty high rate of speed, where you're getting around that red line, you may have to upshift or do an early upshift in the middle of the turn where it's a little bit safer.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I think it all just depends. I need to figure out what my miles per hour is for the second to third and third to fourth gear shifts, because that's going to drive a lot of where my shift points are on the track, because I kind of know what my speeds are generally when I'm going into entry. Mm-hmm. So I'll kind of know what gear I need to be in. It should be very close to the M3, I think, though, which I'm usually in a third or fourth gear.
So tomorrow's your first lap in the car on the track, right?
Yeah.
So are you going to put it on auto?
No.
No? Not even on the first lap?
No. No. Hell no. I mean, not so much the upshifts are fine, but just for the downshifts, I mean, I guess I could. I'll try to maybe one of the sessions.
Because that gives you more, you can focus more on the speed and the other stuff.
Yeah, I think you want to control more of the downshift. Like when you're braking. Mm-hmm. So like there's one turn where I'll probably be going about 110, 115, and then I need to slow down to about 40.
Right.
So I'll probably want to have full control of my downshifts.
You think you're gonna beat your best time?
No. No, just because I don't know.
The tires are tires, yeah.
Yeah, the tires are just the ones, the OEM, I guess the ones that Porsche sells with the Cayman, the Bridgestone RE050s or something like that, which they're just a summer tire.
Right.
But yeah, when I drove my M3 on track, there's a pretty significant delta between my RC1, Maxxis RC1s, and then I actually went out a couple of sessions with Michelin Pilot Super Sports, mm-hmm. and so I had about a 3 or 4 second drop in lap times.
Wow.
And this being a new car, surprised if I end up shredding the front tires because I have basically a stock alignment too.
Well, that's a good excuse to buy new tires.
Well, yeah, I'd rather buy new wheels and tires and have my track set up and then my street set up, which would be these.
Right.
But we'll see. We'll see. Okay. Be real careful, just in case something's underneath there that I don't want to cut. Please read the following before opening any parts in this order.
Throw it away, man.
Okay. Wow, they put.
Oh, shit, that looks good.
What the fuck is that?
Promotions. You get
What?
3 coupons. Yeah.
Oh, this must be their alternate catalog, I guess. like little kids' toys and shit. Oh, it's Walmart. Hopefully it's not from Walmart. That would suck. All right.
Oh, look at that. Holy shit, it looks good.
I haven't seen it yet, man.
Turn it around, man. Let the camera see it.
All right. Let's take it. What's that? It's like the shower cap. Let's take the shower cap off.
Look at that Alcantara. Holy shit, that's sexy.
Well, that feels good.
That looks really nice.
I have to get some gloves.
Is it a little bit thicker or about the same size as the...
It's about the same thickness. Nice. Hell yeah, dude. So I'll probably keep it. I hear it wears out over time, Alcantara. And then at some point, I'll just take this steering wheel and rewrap it and make it thicker.
In leather?
I don't know. But it will be thicker with more cushion.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. Let's
Awesome.
put it on.
Yeah, let's put it on. It has this little thing in here too. Oh, that's the new. So, gonna put the steering wheel in. First thing we got to do is disconnect the battery. But before we disconnect the battery, from what I understand, we have to make sure the wheel is straight and the key is out of the ignition to kind of lock it in place. So I think I'm good there. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop the hood, the frunk. And the battery should be right below here. Here it is. And I believe it's going to be a 10 or an 8. I've seen some people talk about disconnecting the positive, but I just remember when I first learned how to change out batteries a long time ago, that you always wanted to start by doing the negative first and then the positive last. So, first step in the process is, after you disconnect the battery, is to pop out the airbag. So what I read was you can take a 4mm Allen wrench and it should fit in the hole, which is right underneath the steering wheel, right here. If you can't find the hole, I don't know what to tell you. So it took a little while, but figured it out just to give a little instruction. So when you stick the Allen wrench up there, you're not going to feel anything. You actually have to tilt it forward towards the car, the nose of the car, and just keep working until you feel like a bar. It's going to slip off real easy. You just got to make good contact and push up. So let's try it again. I heard something rattling in there.
Oh,
there it is. Woo. Gosh, you just gotta find it just right. It's actually not that far in there. I probably got like that much into it, and it's more of a vertical, not so much an angle like that. It's more like that. All right. There's the airbag. All right, just real quick, guys. Got the steering wheel off. Wanted to show everyone how to quickly release the airbag. We were trying to do it on the car. It's actually more of a almost a straight up vertical. And all you're doing is you're going in with that 4mm Allen wrench, and you're just trying to push up on that guy right there. And when you push it up far enough, it releases it, and kind of the airbag essentially pops out just a little bit. So that's all it is. Going in that hole and pushing up.
Yeah, I think the whole yellow thing comes out.
There it goes. Get it from that top end right there. There it goes. I think that pops loose. Yeah, there we go. Oh, sweet. Excellent. Airbag off. Okay, so now we got to take this bolt off. So this is a T55 Torx. Okay. Excellent. Not too tight.
Do you know the torque spec on that?
I'll have to look it up before we put it back in. I think it's like 32, if I remember correctly, but I'll confirm. So there's a slit at the top after I took the bolt out, and what you want to do is just mark it so we know how to line up the new steering wheel. You got me loosening the clamp, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now the clamp's off, we should be good. I'm going to take the steering wheel off. Sweet. Okay, here it goes. Now there's that little slot at the top. You got to make sure we line that up with the marker spot on the column. I think that's it. I'm going to go ahead and connect the top. Alright, so Suncoast sends you a new bolt. It's made in Germany.
Yes, thread lock on it too.
Yeah, has thread lock on it. Do need a little bit of torque snap. I'm going to start it, and I'm just going to snug it up. Snug it up. Actually. Okay. Alright. Okay, so I got my torque wrench. Everything I read, it's around about 37 pound-foot. I've seen 37, 38. I'm just going to do it for 37. I'll start tightening it down. Almost there.
Not clicking?
No. There it goes. Sweet. Okay. So, now that we got that in there, I just need to connect the airbag. Pop it back in. Everything's color coded. So There's the Porsche crest. Is that one? There's also like a little slot, I guess, these wires.
So it can pass through.
Yeah, I can pass them. Is that one? Ah. This is the, I'm assuming the ground. There's that. Take that. Whatchamacallit? Good king. Alright.
Isn't there another slot in the housing?
Huh?
I think this should also go flushing this here.
Do what now?
See this cable?
Yeah, it's going to do that when I put it in. It should be lined up properly. So yeah, if you notice, see how it's, as I'm putting it in, it should unroll, kind of unroll and fall into that groove right there on the right hand side.
Holy shit, look at that! Looks awesome.
Yeah,
it's
it does.
amazing. Holy shit.
Love it.
That was easy.
That was easy. Well, now we gotta see if it works. So I gotta,
Test drive?
huh?
Test drive?
Well, yeah, I'm gonna
Connect
So
it.
what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna connect the battery, start the car up, and then I'm gonna play around and make sure I can. I think if you're sitting still, I think you can change gears, even though you're not moving. So we'll see.
I think we won't get to the second year.
Well, as long as it changes a gear, I'm happy, and then we'll go for a little test drive.
Awesome.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Tires may be a waste until I get the suspension sorted. If I'm shredding tires with the stock suspension, because you can't get that much negative camber up front, before I start spending money on tires, I should probably go ahead and invest in a suspension that I can get enough camber where I'm not ruining tires. So just got to see how it goes.
It's going to be a beautiful day tomorrow. All sunny. It's going to be 74, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's supposed to be, I think, 46 in the morning, but that afternoon the high is supposed to be 74. Clear blue skies, not dreary and kind of muggy looking like it is right now. Yeah. So that is one nice thing about this time of year. You get some mild fall weather. So, but that's another thing I got to think about. I mean, I'm sure the cooling will be fine for my for all my bits in my car, like, you know, power steering and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I know this car it's a second generation Cayman, so it doesn't have the oiling issues. But you know, before summer hits, I'm probably going to need to do the third radiator.
Oh, it doesn't come with a third radiator?
I don't know if it does. I don't think it does. I mean, I hear a lot of people talking about installing it. I'll have to figure it out. I do see something in there, and I think it's a radiator.
Okay.
I think it is a radiator, but I don't know if it's like a beefed up third radiator replacing the one that came with the car, or is it, maybe it's not even a radiator, maybe it's like a power steering cooler or something that goes up front. I don't know. I gotta read more on the dynamics of this car. So there's a lot to learn. But, you know, as I identify what weak spots we gotta correct, we'll just fucking go correct it. And hopefully I don't have to pay my mechanic to do it. Hopefully I can do it all myself.
Yeah, we'll do all the small projects.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll like this car. I'm taking it to him on Monday. Because I think I told you, a little oil leak, I think, in the back. Unless it was some residual. I don't know. But I found like a little dime-sized pool of oil underneath the engine this morning. And but I called the dealership and they said, hey, if there's something wrong, let them know, and they'll stand behind. They give me a 30-day warranty. So it's a 30 days or 1,000 miles. And since I had it transported here and I didn't drive it like I was originally planning, I saved that 1,000 miles.
Yeah.
So technically I'm under warranty.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, otherwise you would have canceled it. I mean, you would have exhausted it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That turned out to be a good decision.
even if they seem like a pretty up and up, stand-up dealership.
Yeah.
I mean, even if for whatever reason I drove it home and I found it, shortly thereafter, I'm sure they would take care of it. So we'll find out.
I mean, they're not obligated to give you any of that stuff, right?
No, they can just tell me to go pound sand and piss off.
Right.
But normally, that's why I was comfortable not doing a PPI, because it's a Porsche dealership.
Yeah.
And they do generally have a reputation they try to uphold. And I did check the reviews for the dealership, and they were almost all 5 stars.
What was the name?
It's the Porsche. It's a Porsche dealership in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So that's a good theory, though. In the future, if you ever want to buy a car, wait till winter and then start shopping in the Northeast, because they will probably want to unload any sports car that they have at a very low cost.
Yep.
Because they don't want to sit on that car through March, April of the following year when the weather finally gets nice.
Comes around, yeah.
Yeah. So that's what the guy told me. I mean, they marked this thing down. Like, I could tell it was the nearest one close to its price range, to its price point, was like $4,000 higher.
Holy shit.
With the same options and everything and about the same mileage.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I got a really good deal on
And this is a really clean car. I mean,
Yeah.
inside and outside, it's really spotless.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say it's spotless, but for a 9-year-old car, it's an exceptional shape. I have to remember it's a 9-year-old car, because
It doesn't feel like it though, right?
No, it feels fine. Feels really good. But I'm just saying, there's like they did whatever
The paint thing.
yeah paint thing.
Awesome. So we're back.
Yep. All right, now I gotta.
Sell that.
No, I'm not gonna sell it. I'm gonna store
No,
it.
you're gonna store it. Yeah.
Because if I ever sell this car, which I probably will in 2 years, then I'm gonna sell this, get at least $700 back.
Yeah.
I
Easily.
got a plan, man. Anything I buy, I'm thinking I'll get at least 50% of it back after 2 years, and I'm gonna
it's
save
gonna work.
everything.
Yeah, especially the price you picked this up.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And I see these online all the time, and not all the time, but every now and then. They usually go about $750.
$750.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Cool, man.